Howdy all, Relax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright, I'm in a different town than I normally am. Uh, Not in real life, but in this game. Uh, oh man, I was really hoping that'd be my tire. There's so many tires in here and none of them count. Uh, oh, this guy's gonna kill me. Dang it. Do you think Do you think it still counts as completed a quest if I already grabbed the thing and I just have to take it back, or did I just fail my quest? Nope, I've completed my quest. Cool. And why is my bed here in the middle of nowhere? Um, yeah, so uh, got a new vacuum ordered. Should be here today. I've given up on the other one. I brought it downstairs here. It did all right down here. It actually made a map, which it had done upstairs before. And then it vacuumed once with that map, and then the next time I used it, it rewrote. So we'll see. It made a map yesterday. I ran it today. It used the map. We'll find out if it ever uses it again. But down here, a lot smaller area. I can keep an eye on it while it's running, so I don't have to keep going upstairs to fix it. New one, of course, is LiDAR based, so I can make sure that it maps better using the laser instead of cameras that don't seem to be able to see what it's doing. Because I know I talked a lot about the vacuum, so I'm excited to, not excited, but I really like having it. I really like having it doing all the cleaning for me, all the vacuuming for me, I mean, and so I just want one that will work. I really like the first one I had, and then of course it broke, so then I had to get a new one, and I just wish the new one worked better than it does. But it works all right. I mean, it vacuums. You know, it takes way longer than it should. Like for example, getting it to map down here. I had to run it multiple times, mostly because I hadn't run it down here before, and so I didn't grab a new quest, and so oh man, there we go.
Do this for me. If you finish 2 more jobs this week, I will give you Employee of the Month.
I thought maybe there's an actual thing. I don't care about Employee of the Month. And so I'm pretty sure I ran it probably 3 or more hours trying to get it to map the area. Now, obviously, because I hadn't run it down here before, it kept finding things that it couldn't handle, like a string hanging out of the carpet that it wrapped itself up with. So I had to, free it, cut that out of the carpet. I didn't even know that little string thing was there until it hit it. I vacuumed that area before with a regular vacuum, never seen it before. That little guy goes over there, look, string, I'm hung. Or it pulled some cords out that I had to fix so they weren't in its way, or it picked up a little piece of metal from somewhere that I didn't see. And at one point, it picked up a piece of a toothpick, I think, and got that jammed in there, uh, perpendicular to its brush, so its brush couldn't turn. All kinds of stuff like that. And so once all that was done, then it was too dark and it couldn't go because the shadows were too strong. Because I mean, I've got lights in the basement, but they're not like make the floor look like daytime bright. And so finally, yesterday afternoon, it made a map. And so today I ran it just to see if it kept the map, and it did. It ran the map, and so it took it like 2 3 hours of all of that before it made a map, and then with the map, it vacuumed in like 20 minutes, uh, maybe 25 minutes, and then went back to his little pad and call it good. And I'm like, see, now that's what happens when you got a map. Instead of wandering around for multiple hours, because without the map, it would drive around until it was out of charge, and then when it hits 10% charge, it drives itself back to its pad, and then once it charges back up, then it goes again to wander around until it thinks it's made a map. And so that's it's been doing that for 2 days, right? I brought it down Saturday. It did it Saturday. It did it Sunday. Why are you guys here? This is my base. And so yeah, that's why I wanted to get a new one, because I want one that will map, one that will let me tell it where to go, where not to go, because it can't do that until it has a map. And I really liked my previous one because it made a map really quick and really easy, and then I could tell it don't go here. And so the new one is supposed to be able to do all that, and it uses LiDAR, and it's a name brand instead of kind of not an off-brand necessarily, but not a name brand kind of thing. And so um, I it's a shark. They're supposed to be really good from everything I read. And so, anyways, I think that's enough about vacuums. I mean, I'll mention it again when I find out how well this new one works or doesn't. And but yeah, for the most part, didn't get a lot of time to play video games over the weekend. I ended up doing not a marathon session for me on Friday of of uh, um, one of my modded series. I didn't record it; I just played it a lot because I run into a problem in the game, and so it took me a while to figure it out. Uh, it was a modded Minecraft, and I had too many wires coming off of one connection, and I didn't realize. Well, I knew that's what the problem was, and so I was trying to figure out where the lockup was, because I replaced the smaller wires with bigger wires that have more connections, and it still wasn't working. And I ended up having to undo and retrace my wires all the way from one section of my base to another section of the base before I finally figured out what the issue was. And and then the next couple days after that, we were just watching uh, watching shows with my. I was watching shows with my sister. Uh, she basically spent the whole weekend here. Like I don't know. She has not stayed down here watching stuff that long in a long time. And I mean, we're talking from when I got up Saturday until I went to bed Saturday. I was finally like, I'm going to bed, so you have to go do your thing somewhere else. Whatever it is, the issue that's brought you down here has to go somewhere else. uh, and so yeah, uh, not not a lot happened with the video game stuff, I guess. Played some Final Fantasy, of course, the Final Fantasy group Sunday night, and which is also my D&D group. I talked about that one dude didn't show up last Wednesday, so I sent him a message. I was like, "Hey man, you haven't been around in weeks. We would like to play. Are you still going to play? Because if you're not, we'll just make a new character or something, and someone else can play him. Um, or you have to show up. One of those two things has got to happen because we'd like to play, and I need to plan for it." And so he said, yeah, he was gonna play. It's just that last week, ignoring the fact he hasn't really been here for weeks, last week he started back into classes, and so he was trying to get that situated. Um, I'm not sure how that stops you from being able to drop a message saying, "Hey, I'm too busy to show up this week," but uh, that's where we were at. So he did show up last night for the first time in forever. I'm like, well, this isn't the night that I needed him to show up, but you know what? I guess it's okay. I don't care if he shows up for Final Fantasy or not. That game is pretty easy to play by yourself. Uh, I mean, if you need other people, the game just lets you group up with other people. I mean, that's just it. It's like you need another person. Well, here's other people who need other people who don't have a full group. You can go with them. I've never had an issue really with that system, so uh, just about done with the pack before the new expansion that just came out, so that's cool. I don't know exactly. I've got like 3 quests, I think, before I start the new expansion. Actually, I'm probably not gonna start the new expansion for a while. I would like to get my favorite class to max level before I start it, so that I can switch to one of my not favorite classes, but still a class I would like to play. Um, and this is where you put down the thing. It's fine, I guess. I just wanted to poke my head in here, see if there's any quick loots I could grab before I knock a hole from the outside. Oh, okay, scary. All right, I'm gonna go back outside and start this thing. So yeah, so it looks like we'll be playing this week. That does have an arrow above it, so this is where I did one of these before, right? And this is the one that basically killed me. Be easier to go through that? Nope, same difference. So yeah, so we should be playing Starfire this week. Hopefully everybody shows up. Psst. Um, yeah, I was trying to think. I'm like, there was something else I wanted to talk about. Right. So I know I talked a bit about the streaming guy that I hang out with, Fret, uh, and we hang out together most days. Hold on, that's not it. We hang out together on most Monday, Thursday, Sunday from 4 to 7 on his channel, and we had basically reached the end of a couple of games we've been playing. Honestly, we reached the end of those games a while ago. What had happened was when we hit October, um, when we had October, he does this uh, Fright Night thing, and so his Fright Night thing takes the place of whatever we'd been doing. And all right, that quest is completed. And so all our games pretty much wrapped up before that. And so when we came out of October, we didn't have anything to play. And one of the guys isn't currently able to play. And so we've been kind of in a limbo waiting for him. And so I said that no, I asked him what he thought we should be playing. It's his stream. I'd like him to pick the games that we play, right? I mean, I want some input in it, obviously, but I don't want to pick what we're gonna play. I want him to say, here's some things I'd like to play, and then if I don't want to play it, I can tell him I don't want to play it. But he won't pick something, and it's driving me crazy. And so I go through like a list of like 50 things, and everything is either that's a game I want to play on Fright Nights a year from now, or um, that's a game I already did, or that's a game that I want to play when the other guy comes back, um, or that's a game that I was going to play with that other guy. Uh, I'm not sure what precludes him playing it with me because they do play stuff together when I'm not there because they are hang out together way more than I have time for, and that's fine. I don't care. You can play whatever you want when you guys are playing stuff. Like we played Terraria together. They played Terraria without me. Woo. That's fine. I don't care. And we played uh, Deep Rock Galactic together. They played Deep Rock Galactic without me. Woo. Right. So I don't get what the deal is. I don't know why we can't play the game, and then when he comes back, you can play the game with him too. You just start a new game. It's not that big a deal. But yeah, so we had multiple conversations on his stream trying to pick out games to play and trying to narrow what exactly he wants to play down. Um, because one of the issues we had come across was that I don't. Whoa, no, no. That newspaper was trying to eat me. Um, I don't care what we play. Uh, Too much. I mean, I do care. There's certain types of games I don't like, and I have made it abundantly clear that I do not like those types of games. And so I wanted us to figure something out. And so we not I wouldn't call them yelling matches, but we definitely had some heated debates. He says I was yelling at him. I don't think I've ever yelled at anybody as an adult ever. So, um, oh, have I been here before? Did I just wander back into my own town? I did, huh? I thought I was still in that other town. And but yeah, he acts like I'm yelling at him when I'm like, dude, you need to pick something. Uh, or I'll be like, so what about Path of Exiles didn't you like? And he says, I don't, I just didn't like it. I'm like, no, we can't go with I just didn't like it. That doesn't tell me what to look for. I need you to tell me what you didn't like about it. You have to be specific. I need specifics on why you didn't like it. You can't just say, I didn't like it. That doesn't mean anything. Um, uh, because to me, Path of Exile is similar to other games he has played. And so that was basically the root of the argument, was that we had played things he said he didn't like, but he won't tell me what he did or didn't like about them. And so, and on top of that, he won't pick a game, or before this point. And so it makes it really difficult to narrow down what we could play together when he won't tell me what kind of game he wants to play. Now the problem is that currently his favorite game is Overwatch, and I don't like that style of game. I have told him I don't like that style of game. I have made it abundantly clear I don't like that style of game. I do not like PvP shooters really at all. I mean, I don't hate them. I will play them,
Good job.
but I
I
don't
knew you
like
could do it.
it. I don't care about Spear Hunter. I guess we'll take that one. Any chance that you go new inventory? No. I really would like some acid or a tire. So the only things I'm missing is one bottle of acid, one tire.
Had a Duke
I don't know
fight
why
and
you guys
think
can't
someone
just
was
give it to me.
joking. I'd be as rich as Trader Joel.
I
I've got a
guess we
bit of
can
a
try
problem
this one.
and a good
We'll
feeling
run out of
about it.
quests I'm willing to do.
Good luck.
And uh, so yeah, we had multiple conversations about this. Multiple conversations where I keep saying the same thing, and he refuses to answer. Uh, and so finally, was it last week? It wasn't last week. Been the week before, or maybe the week before that. Um, Probably 2 weeks ago, he finally said he didn't like Path of Exiles because it felt like he would click a button and nothing would happen. And he wanted something where clicking meant something. And so I mentioned that I felt we had played Deep Rock Galactic enough. It's very repetitive at this point because we just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, it's fun, but I mean, let me look real quick here. Let me just look real quick. Uh, uh, it's fun, but I have 221 hours into that game, and most of it has been on stream with him, and it's basically just the same thing over and over again. Once you've unlocked all your weapons, and there aren't that many, uh, and you play the same class every time because everybody had picked a class. Uh, Not that I wanted to play the other classes necessarily, um, but there's not a lot left for me to do in that game, and so I don't care. I said this game has bored me at this point. I've done it all. I I'd like for us to look for something else. Well, that just became, oh, I can't believe you hate this game. I'm like, well, I don't hate this game. We've played it a lot. I'd like to play something different. What is going on here? And so, yeah, Deep Rock Galactic is out. Only it's not. I feel like we've played it a lot. We should look for something new. It's, oh, you hate that game. So, anyways, um, so it finally says, clicking, right? Clicking buttons on the screen to me is what his problem was. I, clicking buttons in an MMO, because that was the thing, was I was looking for, it has to be free, basically, or someone else has to pay for it, and um, uh, and obviously it has to be something that we can play together. And so, yeah, so I was looking at different things that I would like to play that I thought he might like to play. And since he wanted something that felt more like it mattered, I was looking for an MMO that was a hack and slash game instead of more traditional like I like to play. Like if he doesn't like a game where clicking on the buttons is what makes your guy does stuff, then we can find a game that's more actiony, right? And he had played Skyrim. I thought he liked Skyrim. He had talked about how he liked Skyrim. So I looked for a game that was hack and slashy. I typed in what's the best action RPG MMO, right? It gave a list. I looked for free ones that looked like it'd be interesting to play. I found one. Uh, it's apparently had its heyday rather rapidly. Everybody said it was a lot of fun for like the first 50 something levels, and then after that, it's broken. And I'm like, okay, well, 50 levels is probably enough for us to play something for a while because, when the other guy's able to play games again, we'll probably switch to something else. And we start up the tutorial, and we're not 10 minutes in, and he is just like, I'm like, okay, what's the problem? This thing has got combos. It's exactly the thing I said that I didn't want. No, you never once mentioned combos. What are you talking about? You said you didn't want a game where clicking a button didn't feel like it did anything. This game is the opposite of that. The combos are the weapon attacks. So you click the right buttons, you get to do this special attack. I didn't realize that was going to be down deeper than it was. Now things are going to get me. Now things are going to get me. Because I'm in a hole. Great, she's in the hole now too. Oh. Acid? No. Dang it. Well, I'm doing alright, shockingly here. So, yes, Bless Unleashed was the game I wanted to try. He didn't even make it through the tutorial setup. It's got a thing where it starts you out more powerful than you are when you start the game. You know, those tutorials where you're like, oh, the power, and then you immediately wake up from a dream and you're back to level 1 kind of thing. And so and the combos weren't even I don't know. I didn't play his class that he chose. He was mad he had to make a character, uh, which is weird because he spent like 10 or 15 minutes on the golf game we were playing making a character. Um, and so yeah, so it was bizarre to me. It's bizarre how we can't get a definition of what he's willing to play, but he also won't try out a game that was what he's kind of. I mean, yeah, so basically, then we got into more of closer to what I would say was a yelling match. Not a yelling match, but I was not happy. Um, and I was like, look, man, you don't want to play it, that's fine. We can play something else. So then we switched to the golf game that we both enjoy. And then I proceeded to question him down again. What was it about this game that he didn't like? Because when I asked him before, he told me clicking buttons that don't matter because they don't translate to what's happening on the screen to him isn't what he wanted. So I went with a game that directly reads the buttons. You click the left mouse button, he does an attack. You click the right mouse button, he does a different attack. You click the left mouse button, an attack, a left mouse button, an attack, a right mouse button, a combo attack. And it shows you on screen as you're playing what buttons to click to get those combos. So it's not asking you to memorize anything. You just gotta click left and right to do on-screen actions that match it. Exactly what he had told me was his problem with the previous game. So we finally just established he refuses to play MMOs. That's just it. Doesn't matter what they're about, doesn't matter what's in them. He does not want to play an MMO. I'm not asking him to join a guild or go raiding, but I was looking for something that was online with a mild story that we could, or that we could pay attention to as we played through together. No, he wants. I don't know what he wants. So I'm like, look, the only way I'm done. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I'm not picking any more games. So you want us to play games together? You're in charge of picking them from now on. I'm done. I've tried. We went through well over 50 games. You don't like any of the suggestions I made. Uh, I even pick out games that are similar to other games you've played, and I feel like you don't want to play anything that I pick. That's what I feel. And he's like, "Well, look, the golf game." I'm like, "You like one of the golf games." So you're
Another
in
sweet
charge now. I
congratulations.
don't care what we play, I
Our
guess.
payment to the Duke now.
Uh, oh yeah. All right, what we got? Clear zombies, clear zombies, clear zombies. All right, I'll take a clear zombie. I won't like it. I'm not good at those without a gun. And I'll look one last time here for acid or a tire. I don't think that her shop upgrades that often.
What a waste.
I just need to look for a different shop, I guess. And then I'm going to head back this direction. So, to finish up my story here, uh, so he comes up with a list, finally. He said he was going to make one. I'm like, you're going to have to come up with that list you said you were going to do and still haven't. And that's it. And so then he sends me the list. And you know what's on the list? Either games we've played, games he doesn't own that he doesn't want to buy, or um, or PvP shooters that I said I didn't want to play. I don't understand how hard the concept is. I don't want to play PvP shooters. And so then he sends me a message. This is this whatever. I'm just gonna play them. That's what's gonna happen. Uh, uh, Either that or I walk away and we never play anything together ever again. That's the two options I've got going at the moment. Um, and so he's like, well, if you don't want to play the same shooter every week, then how about one of the days we play shooters and then we rotate which shooter it is? I'm like, I don't, in my head, I'm thinking, I don't know how that does not. How do you not understand? I don't want to play PvP shooters. How does that translate into, oh, he doesn't want to play that PvP shooter? Maybe he wants to play a half a dozen PvP shooters. That's how it translated out into his head. So I don't know what day we're starting, but we are going to have a rotation of PvP games that I didn't want to play. Apex Legends, PUBG, Overwatch, Halo Infinite, um, Rocket League, which isn't a shooter game, but it's on there. That's probably the least distasteful to me is Rocket League. I used to play this ATV game with friends that had a soccer game that you use the ATVs in. That seems similar to me. Um, but yeah, and then he's all happy that he's gonna get to play the shooters with me that I didn't want to play, which is makes it more irritating to me. And he says, "Well, you had a choice. I told you that you could just play a game while we talked. Uh, but you wanted to play a game, so I'm like, you passive aggressive. So yeah, you want to see me play some shooters? I don't know what day we're starting, but it'll be sometime during Fret's stream on a Monday, Thursday. Probably not Sunday because Sunday is locked into modded Minecraft we're playing right now, and today we're playing Stardew Valley. I'm not sure what the difference between Stardew Valley and Staxel is to him, other than he didn't want to play a game that required multiple workbenches to get things done. Was his complaint about Staxel? Um, even though he plays a dozen other games that have multiple workbenches to get things done, I can't grasp in my head what specifically. Again, I think it's just he doesn't want to play games that I pick out. Uh, I feel like there's a control issue, and yeah. So I told him I played Stardew Valley last week. I hated the first quest where you have to meet the 28 people in town. I don't ever like that in a game, and I told him that that was the last time I go talk to people in that game. So I'm just gonna do other things that don't require me to try to strike up a relationship with. I don't want a relationship in real life. I don't want one in my video games. Uh, I don't want to. I don't want to go hunt down the perfect birthday present for somebody in Stardew Valley. I've done it before. I played Harvest Moon. I know what this game is. I haven't seen anything that makes it unique from other similar types of games I played. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yep, with that, be better than small things, lean in the light. I will talk to you later.